I still need to make that my ringtone somehow. So
Just like back in the day, you got to just put your phone up next to the speaker. Do you remember that? Oh, everyone's ringtone was like an R&B
yeah,
song. I think I had Usher
exactly.
for a while, depending on my mood. And at that time, you knew based on the
Yeah.
song on my voicemail.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not even that old, Fraser. I'm 35.
I know, man. I was gonna say, dude, you're a youngling. I'm the old dog here. You know,
We're gonna go with the seasoned vet. Okay,
seasoned vet. I'll take it.
That's
I'll take
better. You're not the old dog. You're a seasoned vet. You
Yeah.
still got
Beware
energy.
the seasoned vet. Beware the
Well,
seasoned
especially when a seasoned vet got the energy of a young, brand new entrepreneur. So that's definitely more your style.
Yeah, for sure.
Y'all, we got some action for you today, linked and loaded, my friends. This has been picking up steam, and we're very excited. We're just dialing into news. We're just having some fun. We're having real conversations. None of the BS, none of the politically correct. So, Fraser, I'm gonna start us off. Hand it to you for this week, and what do we got in store for us?
Yeah, well, we got number one with a bullet. And this is something that, Jonathan's been very passionate about. And guys, we talked about this on Mortgage Mornings, which it was a great call. You guys missed out if you did not attend that call. But, we were talking a little bit about Anthony in the beginning. And, when I first met Anthony, when we started Brawl, started AIME. And I'm like, the time that you put in, the passion for the broker community, the passion for the industry. And, when I mentioned the people, I said, look, you see all of us, right? And that's not just you guys, but it's me, it's John. We see everybody, like we see people like a Neil Dinger out there. They're like, man, the hustle, this or that, or whatever. We don't really see the stuff behind the scenes. I have had the benefit of seeing behind the scenes. And, what a lot of people don't know is like, yeah, you see Jonathan's like reels, or you see him post on that, or you see him at event, right? But you don't always get to see the behind the, like, the embracing conflict, this broker, this lender, this, that, or whatever. But one thing that hasn't stopped is every single day is a pot of momentum to how do we not only make brokers on equal footing with anybody in the industry, but how do we help them win? And, one thing that I know, Jonathan, you've been politicking for, you've been lobbying for, and that is brokers finally getting the even playing field with access to Poli. And for years, that's where the retail lenders, or they still have, right? Need an answer, ask Poli. Need a guideline interpretation, ask Poli, right? Need some clarity, ask Poli's. And brokers never had direct access. Now, Fannie is making it sound like that brokers may soon get that access. The same tool that, the sellers and servicers use today, which is a major shift. And so for you, the broker channel, I know, has spent years fighting for equal access. I know you have been, like I said, politicking for it. And this is one of the biggest examples of leveling the playing field. So I'm gonna kick it over to you. Is like, how big news is this, and how much of an advantage has this been for retail lenders?
So for those that don't know, thank you, Fraser. You nailed it. This is something I've been talking about for 2 years now, and you can go back, you look. We'll probably post a couple of my things from the past about this. So what Ask Poli is, it's Fannie Mae's basically interpretation / now AI system. And when I was in retail, we had access to it. So you can ask it any guideline question and be very specific, like calculating income, understanding rental income, and it would give you very detailed answers. Well, when I got to the broker space, brokers didn't have access to it. Now, there were a couple, unique loopholes that I won't get into, but those unique loopholes went away when Fannie Mae implemented basically two-factor authentication, which basically means you had to log in and you had to give the additional access. It's like a token that you would get granted. And then that was the only way that you can log into Ask Poli. But they said no mortgage brokers allowed, retail only. And I asked, and someone's like, oh, it's the way the contracts are written. But to me, it's like, I don't understand that. If I'm a broker that's providing services to a consumer, I'm trying to help you get into your home. We want more people. We want more originators. We have some people that are on an island by themselves. We have some people that aren't part of big companies. Most of the broker space is made up of mom and pop shops. Why on earth did we not have access to ask a system about guidelines that impact our consumers? I don't understand. I didn't understand. However, Fannie Mae, we thank you for this because they have changed their tune. And right on Ask Poli, if you guys go to there, we will go ahead and put a little snapshot of it. And I'm excited to post this in our Brokers Our Best Facebook group. It is coming. Mortgage brokers, we are going to get access to Ask Poli for the first time ever. This is going to give you tremendous confidence when it comes to the process, when it comes to understanding guidelines, asking questions that you thought you might not ask. There's so many Facebook groups, even ours included, where we're pivoting away as much as we can, but scenarios, they're just scenarios and scenarios and scenarios. This will alleviate so much of that noise. And so it has been a frustrating road, to say the least. However, Frazier, we're here. We did it. We finally are getting access to it. And this is a really big deal. I'm gonna, if I had to guess, I'm gonna guess that Barry's part of this at a high level. If I had to guess, Barry Habib is on the board of Fannie Mae now, so I'm gonna guess that he had something to do with this. But with that being said, it was a huge advantage to have in retail. I cannot express to you all enough, because when there's something got very complicated and I didn't know where to turn to, you didn't have to call Fannie Mae. Right now, you can't even call Fannie Mae. Think about that. You have to go to your lender, and then the lender has to call the investor, probably credit policy. They go to credit policy calls Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae takes a day or two to reply. They email you back and say yes or no. Now, instead of you waiting 24 to 48 hours, you have the ability to get your answer in minutes. And it is a badass system, my friends, if you've never used it before. So I'm really excited for y'all to jump in. And Frazier, you've been all over the place with your journey, right? Whether it's on the retail side, direct to consumer, working with real estate agents, all of it across the board. The guideline piece is always something that was missing. I'd love your kind of take on it, what you think about this, and just the benefits that it's going to have for our community.
Yeah. So I think, for me, there's one is we talk about, leveling the playing field, or just having the same resources that are available to everyone, that you could talk about that. But ultimately, to me, is, will this make brokers more effective? Right? Is it going to help them win? If it might take a look at, is it going to make them better? And to me, if you always have quicker, you just, before I was kind of like prefacing like what I was going to say, but then you kind of laid it out there perfectly, is that what do brokers have to do now? Right. And you heard all the stops, the hubs, the delays, right? When you have stuff, when you turn days into minutes, that's time, right? That's time effectiveness and, and time efficiency. And when you have that, you can do more things, right? You don't have to wait. You could give quicker answers. And ultimately, I think one thing that we've learned over the last 5 years, and I don't want you guys to get this the wrong way, but speed matters, right? Speed absolutely matters. Now, it doesn't, because everyone's like, oh yeah, we're clear to close. We're close. We could close in like, a week or whatever. In my experience, bars don't close. You know what I mean? They're not ready to go that quick. In fact, even in my own, like I was a 2-month, like buying my own house. I'm like, hey, you guys stay there. You know what I mean? Like not everyone. Yeah, I would be comfortable knowing that it's done, but at the same time, like I don't need it done in 5 days, and not a majority of people need it done. But the fact that speed is of the essence to show like, hey, we get things done and we get them done quick, right? So speed. So because if you're on a competitive playing field, right, you got to look at every advantage that you could have, and speed being the number one. And that's why, we have, some wholesale lenders that, hang their hat on that, because if you do have tight timelines, you want to make it, or you come, you're like, look, there's no way I can have this. Like, I don't want to be sweating. The relationship's too important with this borrower. It's like my, one of my best, clients. The relationship is too important for this agent. One of my best agents. Yeah, you probably were going to say like, all right, I know I'm going to close quick. I know we don't need to, but like, this is, like I know the process and the system. And so that matters. And that is a competitive advantage. And so any other tool like this that allows brokers to originate and execute faster, to me, is an A+.
You obviously, I got excited. I jumped up ready to, go through my computer here. One of the things you said that I forgot, you are so spot on. I forgot how much I used to leverage that. So y'all, I have sold against mortgage brokers when I was in retail. We would get loan estimates, and I was You're not gonna. I was really good at it. Really, really good at it. And one of the things I did do was exactly what you said. So if I knew they had a complicated file and I knew I could get the answer, I would say, hey, you need to ask the other lender if they can do X, Y, or Z. The other lender would say, okay, let me get back to you. I had access to Ask Poli. So I'm getting them an answer back by the end of day. I'm like, hey, here's the answer. Even if the broker was cheaper and it took 2 days, I'm like, you really want to work with somebody that takes 2 days to get you an answer on something this simple? What about when we get closer to the closing table? What if something happens and we're talking about a 1/4 point difference in rate? It's all we're talking about. When you know I will be your loan officer for the lifetime of this loan, and you never have to worry about somebody reaching out to you when it comes to refinancing when the market is in your favor. I cannot tell you how many deals I won because of that speed. Now you're going to have this access. Even if it's one deal a year, that could be $6,000. That's a lot of money. So Frazier, that was spot on. That's exactly what this is going to allow us to do.
Yep, 100%.
Our second one. So this one, y'all, this is the Two Harbor situation and CCM and UWM. And so first and foremost, one, you have 2 companies that have tremendous financial backing, and obviously the servicing game is exploding. That's what Two Harbors plays in, and so they're trying to acquire Two Harbors. Two Harbors is looking to sell. They're looking to acquire. So UWM made some. They made a proposal. The proposal was initially accepted. Then CCM came in and they said, hey, we're going to do all cash. That's CrossCountry Mortgage that came in. They said, we're going to do all cash. Then they said, oh, wow, okay, we'll do all cash and we'll pay the exit fee for you to terminate the contract with UWM, which was millions of dollars. So then UWM comes back and says, okay, we'll raise the share prices. So now there's this back and forth. Okay, but here's the thing. One, business is business. So these 2 companies are going to do their thing. So by all means, they're for profit. They're going to do their thing. But the thing that's really bothering me is I'm watching other mortgage brokers, okay, make fun of UWM for doing this. And that to me is weird. I understand why CCM wants to do it. I understand why UWM wants to do it. But y'all, we got to be crystal clear about servicing here. There's a reason why people are paying so much money for servicing, because it's going to take over the world. It will take over the space. The data will matter more than ever before, and people are paying for this data more than ever before because they understand what they can do with this data, especially when it comes to cross-selling. So I want to be clear with this group. There's a lot of people here complaining, oh, my loan's being sold. Now Rocket has it, or Freedom has it, or so-and-so has it. Y'all, there's 5 major servicers out there, okay? They have a lot of money. And it hasn't been easy for all these other lenders across the board. So when you have these 5 companies that can pay top dollar, it's business. It's going to be hard for them to not, they're going to acquire as much as they possibly can. They're going to buy up as much as they can. UWM's coming in saying, all right, we want to keep everything in house. We want to protect the channel the best that we can. They ran into a situation with the Mr. Cooper thing that happened a while back. And now they're making a commitment for the broker community. Y'all can hate all you want, but to make fun of is the weirdest thing to me, especially when it literally helps protect the entire broker channel. So that's where I'm at with it. By all means, business is business. Cross country, UWM, do your thing. Two Harbors, do your thing. Keep running your business. Keep making money. Keep helping communities. Keep helping people. But the making fun of thing is just the strangest thing. People love the rage bait, and they just love to see people fail. And that to me, I don't know, man. I just didn't grow up that way. And it is what it is. There's a lot of people that want to see you fail, that want to see me fail. And before, I didn't used to engage with them, Frazier, but now I'm having a lot of fun. You know why? Because you can't bother me. I don't care. But there's a lot of people out there that you do impact, and there's people that look up to you. So when you're posting and you're being like negative, or you're making fun of or pointing fingers, like, is that the group you really want following you? Like, you want all those people that just make fun of others and point fingers and I want to see this person fail? Yeah, that's not for me. So by all means, I'm going to keep watching this closely. That's where I'm at with it. The value of servicing is increasing dramatically. That is what you're watching. And they've pushed this out now multiple times. Two Harbors actually just pushed it out to June 11th when everybody thought they were going to actually finalize and choose CCM. So now it's pushed out to June 11th. June 11th, we will see what happens. Going to pay close attention to it. But mortgage brokers, the servicing world, we don't get a lot of it. Right? We don't, just because of what we do. We're not taking the full risk on. The lenders take the risk on for us, right? And so just pay very close attention to this. It's very important. And just understand it from a business aspect. Really break it down. Like the making fun of thing, fine. If you want to engage and that's who you are, no problem. By all means, go enjoy yourself. I wash my hands with it. But at the end of the day, we're here to help grow this channel. And this is something to me that if this works for UWM, other people in the space are going to follow suit. And hopefully there's more opportunities to help maintain servicing and help protect the broker channel's future clients. Because if you think for a second that your future clients aren't at risk because you're so good at following up, I need you to stop being naive. Why would companies pay billions of dollars for past clients for servicing data? Why? So they can stare at it and give it back to you? Come on. Thanks. I needed that one.
So look, you said it perfectly. Here's what I'll say. Just understand that most people in our industry don't really understand the I don't even for the best way to explain is like the logistics of the market, right? Or the logistics of the secondary market and servicing, and understand how money is made, MBS, all of that stuff in there. And look, I'm not going to sit there and pretend like I'm an expert, but you have a lot of people, and you would consider like leaders, thought leaders, and influencers or whatever, that understand conceptually how things work, right? But what they're getting their information based off of some experience, that they've had, whether it's running or owning a mortgage company, or, being an executive in it, and then, doing what they do, or reading the trades and stuff like that. But as someone that spent 5 years in, a pretty high intensive, private equity, hedge fund, venture capital world, I can tell you this, is that you can look at the Two Harbors from like a perceptive media perspective, headline reading, or understand it from a company that is public, right? You got to understand that investors want three things when it comes to, investing, right? What do they want? They want high growth, they want predictability, and they want dividends and yield, right? Those at the core, those are the three things that investors are looking for. When you look at a mortgage IPO, and if you look at the history, when they went, everyone's like, oh, why are they doing IPO? There's a reason why everyone did their IPO at the time that they did it, right? And that was because of market timing. And so it only makes sense to invest, in my opinion, in a mortgage lender at market timing being number one. Right now, you could argue that's pretty much any collateral, but mortgage lender, it really is. Because what did I say? Three things. High growth. Is that something that's dependable? No, it's only temporary. Why? Because of the macroeconomics nature of our industry, right? So high growth is only temporary. Second is predictability. Is it predictable? Is our industry predictable? Rarely, right? Rarely. Earnings fluctuate all the time. We've seen that. We've seen companies that are no longer here, right? But where does the third one lie? Dividends and yield. So can a mortgage IPO or a public company do that? Absolutely. But how, right? How? Number one reason being servicing heavy, right? So all of you can have fun and look at UWM from like, well, they're trying to get this or that. And there's an element that, of course, because it's strategic, but more importantly, they're a public company, right? And their investors are looking for those three things. Are they going to get predictability? No, right? Are they going to get high growth? Well, the UWM, yeah, they probably will, because they're the number one, right? But again, right, it's dictated by the macroeconomic factors, right? UWM doesn't control the market. Third thing, dividends yield. What is that? Servicing heavy, right? So it's a benefit to you, and in fact, it's almost a mandate from its investors that they do these things, right? And so when you don't understand the full picture and you just look at it again from a headline media talking heads perspective, yeah, sure, we could have fun and whatever, but there's also a business reason that has nothing to do with any of that on why you make this move. And I just gave it to you.
Fraser, you always nail like the investor part, man. And it's like, you always help me bring these things like back to life. That investor piece is such a big deal. Like these companies that are investing, like you're talking Morgan Stanley, Fidelity, Chase.
Yep.
Like it's not like me or you investing and we're like, we get emotional if the stock goes up or down. These are people that are like, all right, we're going to put $1 billion in and we'd like to make money back and we want to roll on the board and we'd like to give you financial strategic advice. Like they're not going in there to high five. Hey, did we make money or did we lose money? Hey, why did we lose money? What are we going to do to make money? That's the conversation, guys. That's the conversation that's happening. All right, last one. This one's a bit wild. So National Mortgage Professionals, I think this was Katie Jensen, who shout out to Katie, always on top of the big stuff there. So what happened? So here's what happened. So CFPB recently dramatically changed their ECOA guidelines and guidance, and they are now being sued because of these changes. So the first one is about the disparate impact. The CFPB says focus on intentional discrimination. Neutral policy shouldn't automatically create liability. And the plaintiffs are saying many discriminatory outcomes happen without someone explicitly intending discrimination. So CFPB says we want to change it and we're only going to look at intentional discrimination. The plaintiffs are also saying eliminating disparate impact makes it harder to stop modern forms of discrimination. So the second piece of it is discouragement. This is a really big one for us in the mortgage space. So historically, regulators looked at whether a lender's actions discourage somebody from applying. So is the way I talk to you, is how I'm structured, discourage you from doing something? So examples of this are like, hey, advertising in certain neighborhoods, not opening branches in certain areas, digital marketing that avoids minority communities. Y'all, this happens. And here's the thing that I actually, it's a little strange. As the data gets better, AI gets better, and more companies are selling data. So for example, even the think about this, right? The workout watches that you wear, the fitness bands that you wear, they sell the data for like walking for cities. So there's a city here in Michigan that is buying data from a fitness company that is on people's wrists all the time, and they're looking at where they're walking because you agree to share that data when you register. So this is no different. More data is being bought. You're going to be able to be very specific about who you're targeting when it comes to doing business. Then the last piece of it is special purpose credits programs. As you know, this was like the down payment assistance programs aimed at helping underserved communities. And now the CFPB added restrictions on how some of these programs can be structured. So the group suing are arguing this will make it harder to create programs to help communities that have historically been excluded from getting credit access. So y'all, this is a really big deal that we're going to want to watch unfold. This can change the entire landscape of how marketing is done to consumers through the entire mortgage space. So this is a really big one. Long term, this is definitely seems like it's going to be something that's going to be heading to the federal court system here. So think of HUD, DOJ, everybody's going to be involved in this, pending it goes through the way I believe it's going to go through. So they're rewriting one of the biggest playbooks. The CFPB just rewrote one of the biggest playbooks in fair lending American history. Fraser would love your take on this.
Yeah, it's funny because I had heard something. I didn't read the article originally because I had saw something about this, especially when I knew they were talking about ACOA and all that other stuff. This is this is a tough one, right? And the reason why is because you land on because there's not really. Because people approach this topic, I want to phrase this right because I'm probably going to come off looking like an asshole. But people phrase this as kind of like a binary, like on or off, good or bad, evil, virtuous, that type of stuff, right? And that's really not that is. What people have to understand is when a lot of these things were developed, is for different times, right? And as someone, look, you're not going to get more of a minority than me. I'm a Native American, right? You're going to be hard pressed to find
legit Native American, y'all.
Legit
extensive. Not everybody's seen our stuff. Like he's got records and family. It's crazy situation. So thank you for sharing that, because that was cool just to even learn that about you many moons ago.
Well, thank you. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And look, my wife is African American, right? So like we're like a minority family, right? And so the reason I'm bringing that up from what I say is that it's easy to take a extreme view or one side or the other, right? Tear it all down, right? We need all these things. And there's a little bit of truth in all of it and validity in all of it. What I can tell you as someone that's had to operate with the current rules and the things that we do, they are not effective as written now. So I think it needs an overhaul, and just like with anything, it will be, there's a part of it to where, and guys, like I'm an independent, by the way, but like there's a part of it where people are just going to do anything that this administration does, and they're going to flag it as being anti whatever, right? That's no matter what. There's a little bit about this in there, right? Because it's all about minority this or that or whatever. I could tell you this. I have dealt with some things or getting tagged in compliance or audits or all that other stuff. One, for dumb things that were like, oh, you can't say that because then people won't want, like the walking thing. The first thing that I thought of, because I'm not kidding, this is shit that I've had to deal with, when Jon said, oh, they're going to spy that data or whatever. And then like other people could aggregate that data. It's like, oh, this is good walking areas, right? So an agent, I guarantee you, because I know this has happened in the past in other ways, right? Oh, like, yeah, this is not a real great walkable neighborhood, right? Oh, no, does that mean like there's bad people there and, blah, 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 da, 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 and the schools aren't good? Like, you can't say these things because that is going to, you know what I mean? And so it's like, it's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't. But like, I have people that are very specific. I want good school. These are the areas that I want to live in. Then that's what it is. And unfortunately, that's just reality. And so to me, I am not a fan of anything that gives any other buddy a leg up over someone when everyone comes equal to the table. And so we got to decide what that looks like. Now, like I said, I'm probably going to come off like a jerk saying that, but I just want to give you my background to understand that I've dealt with all of that stuff, right? But ultimately, I got to look at what is going to be the most effective for the future and what we're trying to go to. And that's less red tape. That's less crap with a COA. And if you guys have never have to do the other side of a COA like I've had out on lender, guys, it's money, right? And all of that trickles down. So we do all of these things and we overcomplicate it. So to me, I think the CFPB is long overdue to rewrite these things. Everything that I read and, on its face doesn't seem bad to me, but could negative things happen? Absolutely. Guess what? Do negative things happen today with the current way? Absolutely. Yes. So like, that's the thing. So that's the thing, is that we're like, this isn't going to make it worse, but yeah. Is it going to be perfect? No, but we don't have that today. So should we just sit on our hands and like not do anything? Or should we try to build something that is going to remove the red tape, give lenders the ability to help more people and not worry about all these other things that they have to pay money for? I know, because I've had to build these systems. They do cost money. Or can we be like, all right, it's 2026. How do we look at these things and how do we build them for today's world?
Fraser, you nailed it. And the perspective you gave is spot on. I'm glad you gave a lot of context to it, because there's going to be a give and take, and we're going to just have to watch it unfold to that point. Like there will be bad and there will be good. And that's just how the world works. And we're just going to pay very, very close attention to it, man. Y'all, as you can tell, we're getting much more passionate as we continue to level up this series. We're getting just more and more people interested in just the conversations, right? Like, what are we diving into? What's going on in the world? How can we keep you dialed in 30 minutes or less? And that's what we're going to do. So to end us here, as we always do, rapid fire prompts, my friend. Fraser, I'm going to start with you. Here we go. Would you rather never eat dessert again or never eat chips again?
Oh, easy. No dessert. I'm a like when I have chips, my stomach doesn't have any type of capacity. I don't like, hunger does not, or being stuffed does not approach me, but yeah, I'll kill a bag of chips.
Are you eating the whole bag? Yeah, me too.
I'll eat the whole bag. I'll eat the whole bag. I don't, because like, I know I will. That's the whole thing. I will eat a whole bag of chips. No problem. Yeah.
I told my wife, stop, just we're done with chips. Or if we
Yeah,
get chips,
yeah,
we have to get like the minis because
yeah.
it's over. Like God forbid it's salt and
Mhm.
vinegar. It's lights out for me. Um,
Yeah.
next one for you here. Do most mortgage coaches actually know what AI does?
No. There are some that are really leveraging the tool. It's good. Most, in fact, when AI was starting to become a thing, most of the mortgage coaches that I saw, and this isn't everybody, but they were kind of coaching against it. And I get where they were coming from, but I don't think they truly understand, like what's happening with that.
Last one. Are sunglasses indoors ever acceptable?
Yes. When you have to be
Okay.
cool.
You gotta be cool.
And you have
Sometimes
to
you
be
gotta
cool.
be cool.
Sunglasses.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got
Playing poker. Sometimes,
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
Well, yeah, there you go. So that's tactical. All right. To you, would you rather have a rewind button for your life or a pause button? Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
Oh, rewind. You know what? I'd have said 10 years ago, I'd have said rewind because like I was like in the regret phase and I wish I would have and I wish
Yeah.
I would have. But where
Yeah.
I'm at in my life now, pause. Like I'd love to have a pause button, on certain situations as I
Mhm.
go through them. But that's definitely changed over the last 10 years. And there are still things I would absolutely do different. But I love where my life is at right now. So it's like I don't want to rewind that. But there are situations that pop up now, especially with how hectic my life is, where I'd love to pause.
Yep. And are most people better at talking or listening?
Ooh, most people are definitely better at talking, me included.
Yep. 100%. Yeah. I mean, just meant not you 100%, but
Yeah.
100% to the people. But
Yeah, dude, you're terrible at listening. Yeah.
But 100%. Oh, yeah, you're awful. No. And then if every lender had identical pricing, would sales skill become the biggest differentiator?
Absolutely. Your ability to ask questions, your ability to control a conversation, your ability to get people to think differently than everybody else. Yes. Like you tell me what you think would be the differentiator, right? It is absolutely going to be sales if pricing was exactly the same. Your ability to effectively communicate.
Yeah. And I just add, we're in a commodity industry. So yeah, sales skills are a differentiator. 100%.
My friends, we appreciate you. Tune in next week for another episode of LinkedIn Loaded. We will see you next time.